Hello, hello mga future teachers. Malapit na yung board exam natin. And good luck, good luck. For this session, we're going to discuss mathematics quiz number 1. So 5 items lang naman to, hindi naman to ganun kahirap. This is for general education. So kung mayroong mga math majors dyan, no, malamang maniin nyo lang yung mga questions na nandito sa quiz number 1 natin kasi kapag Gen Ed tapos math yung topic, hindi pa siya talaga designed for complex calculations. Kasi kapag sa Gen Ed, tapos may mga questions tungkol sa math, solvable siya kahit walang calculator. Okay? During major subjects lang naman tayo pwedeng mag-solve using calculator sa math. Okay? Buti pa yung mga magagaling sa math, mga nagtitake ng majors in math, pwedeng mag-calculator during their majorship. Pero kapag Gen Ed, yung mga hindi major in math, sorry po, pero hindi tayo pwedeng gumamit ng calculator sa LET. Okay? Pero, ayun nga, since hindi tayo allowed gumamit ng calculators during Gen Ed, hindi ganun kahihirap yung mga questions na tinatanong sa math, no? By the way, bago pala tayo sagot, bago pala ako magpatuloy doon sa pagdi-discuss, pakilala ko pula muna yung sarili ko para hindi naman tayo stranger sa isa't isa. Ako po si Teacher Rex Jason Agustin. Actually, pwede ba akong mag-share? Ay, share ko lang yung may hinanda ako eh. Ay, mamaya na tayo magsagot. Pakilala muna ako para hindi tayo stranger sa isa't isa mga future teachers. Okay, engineers tuloy yung nasasabi ko, no? Kasi I am by profession an electronics engineer talaga. Kumuha lang ako ng 18 units ng education way back 2014 and 2015. Tapos, ayun, took up LET during March 2015 board exam. And then through God's grace, pinalad tayong makapasok sa listahan ng top notchers. No? Nagland tayo sa 9th place noong March 2015 licensure examination for teachers. Since engineering graduate talaga ako, ang majorship ko ay mathematics. So rest assured, kung ano man yung mga ituturo ko sa inyo sa math na session natin for this day, ano to, legit, no? Credible naman kasi ito talaga yung field ko. As teacher, no, ito talaga yung tinuturo ko for more than 10 years na. No, for more than 10 years na ako nasa teaching profession. Before pa ako mag-take ng board exam noong 2015, nagtuturo na din ako. Simula pa nung pumasa ako ng board exam, I passed the engineering board exam noong 2009. Okay, kasi graduate ako ng 2009. Ayun, ilan sa mga credentials ko is 2008 while I was still a student. Ayun, pinalad tayong manalo sa National Quiz Show na pang-engineering. No? We're in participants from whole Philippines yung naglaban-laban, no, tungkol sa electronics engineering, and pinalad tayo na mag-champion dun sa quiz show na yon. 2009, nakagraduate tayo sa Technological Institute of the Philippines, Manila, sa may Quiapo. So, batang Quiapo po ako. Ayan, tayo po ay na-awardan as most outstanding ECE noong batch na yon. And then, after passing the board exam, noong 2009 din, for electronics engineering, napunta tayo sa academe. Okay, ni-request kasi ng TIP kung saan ako graduate kung pwede daw ba ako mag-render ng service para matulungan yung mga schoolmates ko, okay, na ma-increase yung chances nilang pumasa sa engineering board exam. So, doon, nakapagturo kagad tayo right after passing the engineering board exam. Tapos, na-in love tayo sa pagtuturo. Ako, ay, na-in love ako sa pagtuturo kaya after a few years, nag-decide ako na kumuha ng units of education para maging ganap na guro. Ayun. And kayo naman yung susunod, no? This coming March 2025, it's your turn naman. Okay, biruin nyo, no? Kahit hindi naman talaga ako EDOC grad, wala akong masyadong alam sa Prof Ed. No, that's my weakness. Hindi ako magaling sa Prof Ed. Hindi talaga ako maalam pagdating sa mga Magna Carta for Teachers, yung mga yung mga knowing oneself na subject, curriculum development. Hindi talaga ako magaling sa mga ganong subjects, pero through God's grace, basta pinlano ni God, okay, at kinlaim mo, mangyayari at mangyayari yan. Walang makakapigil sa plano ni God para sa atin. Okay? Ayan, claim lang natin na magiging licensed professional teacher tayo sa March 2025. Alright. Ready na? So, ilan na ba yung participants natin? Medyo okay na. Pwede na. And I hope makatulong sa inyo tong session na to. At kapag nakatulong sa inyo, share natin sa ibang kakilala nating ah, pwedeng, pwedeng matulungan pa nitong session na to. Okay? Ayan. And before we begin, pa-confirm muna mga teachers kung nakikita nyo po yung shared screen natin. Siyempre, mako-confirm din natin kung naririnig nyo ako clearly. Pa-type naman po ng number 1 sa chat box. Sa mga participants natin sa Zoom, pa-type naman po ng number 1 sa chat box. Since quiz number 1 for mathematics yung sasagutan natin. Waiting pa po for confirmation sa chat box natin, mga teachers. Pa-type ng number 1 sa chat box kung naririnig nyo ako. Rinig ba mga teachers? Ayun! Okay, thank you sa mga nag-confirm. Ayan, sina future teacher RB, Karel, Arvin. Okay, and confirm. Sa TikTok daw pala maraming nanonood. Ayan. You're about to take Mathematics Live Review Quiz 1. Are you ready? Let's get it on! Siyempre, ready na. Begin. No, begin. Kahit naman di tayo ready, push pa rin. No, ganun talaga tayo nagiging successful. Kahit na hindi mo feel gawin yung isang bagay, pero alam mong it's a step towards your goal. Okay, gagawin pa rin natin kahit na ramdam mong hindi ka ready. Okay, doon tayo nagkakaroon ng real progress. For question number 1, what are the prime factors of 273? Is it A, 3 times 7 times 13, B, 3 times 3 times 6 times 9, or letter C, 2 times 3 times 13, or is it letter D, 3 times 3 times 7 times 7? Sige, I'll give you a few seconds, mga teach, to choose an answer. A, B, C, or D. Alin po dyan ang prime factors ng 273? Wala pa nag-chat. Okay, baka medyo nahihirapan sila. Okay. Type in your answers, mga teachers. Wala pa? Sige. Without using calculator, mga teach, no? Kasi sa Gen Ed to. Kung lumabas sa math major, pwedeng gumamit ng calculator, madali lang. Pero for Gen Ed, try nating sagutan to without using calculator. Okay? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Check ko lang sa chat box kung ayon, mayroong mga nagsagot. Okay. Tama naman yung mga teachers natin nag-send ng answer sa chat box natin. The answer is letter A. Okay. Clear yan, no? Sa mga magaganda na yung foundation sa mathematics, pag sinabi pong prime factorization, okay, dapat yung sagot natin is composed of prime numbers. Okay, kung composed of prime numbers yon, eliminated na po kaagad si letter B. Na bago ko basahin yung rationale, eliminated na kaagad si letter B kasi sa letter B, merong nakasulat na times 6 tsaka times 9. Okay, ang 6 and 9, hindi po yan prime numbers. Okay? Pag sinabi pong prime numbers, mga teachers, ito po ay number na ang factor lang ay 1 at yung number itself. Okay? Ang 6, hindi yan prime number. Kasi ang 6, divisible pa yan ng 2, divisible din yan ng 3. Okay? So, hindi prime number si 6. Ganon din si 9. 9 is not a prime number. Okay? Kasi ang 9, divisible yan ng 3. 3 times is 9. So, wrong kagad si letter B. Okay? Next. Kung eliminated na si letter B, ano pa bang may eliminate na? Ayun lang, no? Eliminated si letter B kasi hindi puro prime numbers yung nandyan. Okay? Paano makukuha yung sagot na letter A? Let's read the rationale. So for prime factorization of 273, okay, to get the prime factors of 273, you divide 273 by the smallest prime number possible. Then you take the result from that and divide that by the smallest prime number. Repeat this process until you end up with 1. This prime factorization process creates what we call prime factor 3 of 273. Okay? See illustration below, pero walang illustration na pinakita. Okay? Mamaya, magsulat na lang tayo siguro sa isang slide ng PowerPoint. All prime numbers that are used to divide in the prime factor 3 are the prime factors of 273. Here is the math to illustrate. Dito sa rationale, yung question mark na symbol, it should be division. No, division to. No, 273 divided by 3 is equal to 91. So, yun nasa question mark na symbol dito sa rationale. That's divide. 273 divided by 3 is equal to 9. And then 91 divided by 7 is equal to 13. And then 13 divided by 13 is equal to 1. Okay? So, ang sagot natin is 3 times 7 times 13. Ganito po yung sinabi. Sir, sabi may illustration daw. Hindi naman pinakita yung illustration. Okay, punta na lang tayo dito sa PowerPoint presentation ko, no? What are the prime factors of 273? The answer here is letter A. Ang gagawin lang natin is continuous division. So, pwede po tayong division. No? Yung mano-mano muna, old school division. Okay? Try natin divide by 3. Total, lahat naman po ng choices, mayroong 3, yung letter A, yung letter B may 3, yung letter C may 3, yung letter D may 3. So, let's see if what would be the answer if we divide 273 by 3. Okay, yung 27 divided by 3, that is equal to 9. Tama? And then, 9 multiplied by 3, that is equal to 27. Okay. Next step sa division. Sa mano-manong division, subtract natin yan. 27 minus 27 is 0. Then bring down 3. Next step, i-divide natin si 3 doon sa ating divisor na 3. 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1. And then 3 times 3 is equal to 3. Then subtract. Okay, the answer here is 0. Okay? So, nakita natin na yung 273, mga teachers, no, pwede natin yung ma-factor sa 3 times 91. Okay? 3 times 91 is equal to 273. Okay? Prime number na yung 3, pero let's see, yung 91, prime number na ba yon? Let's continue dividing. Okay? 91, isip tayo, ano ba yung factors ng 91? Okay? Ano ba factors ng 91? Since eliminated na natin nga po pala mga teachers yung letter B, no? Kasi hindi prime number yung 6, hindi prime number yung 9. Sure nang mali yung letter B. Okay? Kung pagpipilian natin kunwari A tsaka D, pareho namang may 7 yan. Let's see kung yung 91 ba divisible ng 7. Okay? Nag-rely din tayo kahit paano sa choices, ano? 91 is it divisible by 7? Okay? 9 divided by 7 is equal to 1. Okay? 9 divided by 7 is 1 remainder 2. Pero lalagay lang natin is yung whole number na answer. So 1, then times 7, that is 7. Okay, next, subtract natin, 9 minus 7, that is 2. Then bring down 1. Okay, 21 divided by 7 is 13. Ay, sorry, 21 divided by 7 is 3. And then yung 3, multiply natin sa 7, that will become 21. Subtract natin yan, magiging 0 na, wala nang remainder. So makikita natin mga teachers na yung 91, yan pala ay equal po sa, yan po ay equal sa 7 times 13. Both 7 and 13 are prime numbers. Okay? Prime numbers na yan. Kaya yung answer natin mga teachers ay 3 times 7 times 13. Okay? The answer is letter A. Confirm. Okay? Confirm yan. Kuha. So, letter A yung answer natin. Okay? Hindi rin letter C, mga teach. Ano? Bakit hindi letter C? Pwede pong, kung mas mabagal kang mag-divide, or mas mabagal kang mag-isip ng mga factors, tapos feeling mo mas mabilis kang mag-multiply, pwede kang mag-multiply na lang po. Ano? Multiply mo yung mga nasa choices and see kung sino yung magbibigay sa atin ng answer na 273. Okay? 3 times 7 times 13 is equal to 273. How about letter C? 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 13. 6 times 13 is equal to 78. Okay? 78 is not equal to 273. Kaya po, mali yung letter C. Okay? Next. 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, 3 times 3 is 9. And then 7 times 7 is 49. So kung doon pa lang 49 times 9, so lagpas 400 to ano? Okay. Lagpas 400 yan, 79, 9 times 49, lagpas 400. Probably this is around, so pwede kong isulat yan na 9 times 49. Okay, this is equal to 441. Okay, so 441 is not equal to 273, kaya mali yung letter D. Okay? So, ayan, tandaan, pwedeng ma-eliminate yung choices. Okay? Kapag sinabing prime factors, dapat puro prime numbers yung nandoon. Tapos, kung lahat naman ng nasa choices, puro prime numbers, pwede pong mag-continuous division hanggang sa maging prime numbers na lang yung mga natitira. Or kaya, pwede po natin kunin yung product ng mga nasa choices kapag minultiply natin sila. So that's how we get the answer, letter A, mga teach. Okay. I hope that's clear. So sa mga nag-screenshot, kung may nag-screenshot ng rationale natin, paki-note na lang po na etong nasa illustrate na part, division yung ipapalit natin doon sa question mark na symbol. Alright? Next. Next question. How much was borrowed if the interest at 8 How much was borrowed if the interest at 8% after 3 months is 6,000? Is it A, 150,000 pesos, B, 250,000 pesos, C, 300,000 pesos, or D, 200,000 pesos? Okay? If this will appear in Gen Ed, let's try solving this without the use of calculator, mga teach. Try nyo isolve, mga teacher, kung kaya, walang calculator. Kasi sa Gen Ed, okay, hindi pwede yun. See? 150,000, 250,000, 300,000, or 200,000. Okay. Magkano daw yung hiniram? Magkano yung inutang? Hirap naman magkaroon ng ganyan, ng ganyang utang, ano? Laki. Okay. As much as possible, mga future teachers, iwasan mangutang. Okay? Lalo na kung gagastusin mo lang din for luxury. Okay, pwede mangutang for investment sa negosyo o kaya sa sa paper assets, sa mga stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ganyan. Pero kung mangungutang ka for luxury, wag ganon. Okay? That's called bad debt. May mga good debt naman na tinatawag. Sagot po natin mga teachers for question number 2. How much was borrowed if the interest at 8% after 3 months is 6,000 pesos? I'll give you time to solve. Pero sana without calculator. Alright, mga teach. Wala pang nag-chat. Still waiting sa mag-chat ng kanyang answer. Okay lang kung di kayo sure, no? Pero kung feeling mo yan talaga yung answer, no? A, B, C, basta ah, yun yung isasagot mo. Okay? Chat mo po sa chat box natin or type it in the comment. Ay, kung nanonood kayo dyan sa ibang social media platforms natin. Alright? Ayon. Okay. Letter B yung sagot daw, mga teach. Letter B. Okay. Letter B ba? Letter B, letter B. Sige. Patry pa natin sa iba. Kasi parang hindi letter B. No? Feeling ko hindi letter B eh. Pero, same, no? Hindi lang isa yung nag-answer ng letter B na 250,000. Okay? Higit sa isa yung nag-chat ng 250,000. So, hindi kailangan mag-worry, ay, hindi naman pala ako nag-iisa. Pero, sana, pagdating ng actual board exams, no, mapili na natin yung correct answer. Okay? Unfortunately, hindi po yung letter B. Nice try, mga teachers. Ay, nice try, pero ang sagot natin dito sa question number 2 ay letter C. Ay 300,000. Ay 300,000 po. Now, pag magko-compute tayo ng ganitong problem, ang assumption natin is yung tinatawag na simple interest. Okay? Sa business math kasi, ang interest po, makakategorize natin yan sa dalawa. Meron po tayong simple interest, tapos meron tayong tinatawag na compounded interest. Kapag mga ganitong tanungan, no, hindi naman sinabing compounded interest, ang assumption natin dyan is simple interest. Okay? For simple interest, and then ang hinahanap po ay yung principal, or kung magkano yung inutang, that's called principal. That is equal to interest earned, yun yung letter I. In this case, yung interest earned ay yung 6,000 divided by yung rate of interest R. Ang rate of interest R ay 8%. We can write the rate of interest R as 0.08 in decimal form. And then times T. Yung T po natin, it should be expressed in years. Okay? It should be expressed in years. Since ito po ay 3 months, ang 3 months po ay katumbas lang ng 1/4 year. Okay? 3 months is equivalent to 1/4 of a year. Paano nalaman? Okay? In a year, there are 12 months. Kaya makikita nyo dito, time in years is equal to 3/12. So 3 months divided by 12, that is equal to 1/4. Okay? So for the principal or the money borrowed, that's 6,000 divided by 0.08 times 0.25. Dapat may parenthesis to, no? Uunahin muna yung 0.08 times 0.25. And 0.08 times 0.25 is equal to 0.02. Okay? Or ano yan? 8 divided by 4, kasi 1/4 yan. 8 divided by 4 equals 2. And 0.08 times 0.25 equals 0.02. And then 6,000 divided by 0.02, that will give us the answer 300,000 pesos. Okay? May nakasulat dun sa screen natin. Delete lang natin lahat ng drawing dyan. Ayan. Para clear. Okay? So, for number 2, letter C, isa pa. Paliwanag ulit natin sa slide. Pakita natin paano siya manually minultiply or dinivide. Sa mga review materials, ang nakikita po natin mga engineers, teachers na formula for simple interest. Lagay natin dito. Ayan. Gamit na lang tayo ng blue. Ayan. Kapag magko-compute tayo ng simple interest, ang simple interest formula natin ay I is equal to PRT. Okay? Since ang hinahanap po natin ay P, ito po yung isosolve, no? Gagawin natin siyang P is equal to I divided by R times T. Okay? Yung interest earned, sinabi po na 6,000 pesos. Divided by rate, yung rate nga daw po natin ay masusulat natin as 0.08. And then yung T, okay, for T is equal to, in years daw dapat yan, no? In years. Yung atin pong T ay equal sa, ang gagawin natin, 3 months, okay, divided by 12 months in a year. There are 12 months in a year. Yan po ay equal sa 1/4 or 0.25. No, 1/4 or 0.25. Gamitin ko na lang yung 1/4. Lagay ko dito 0.08. Tapos times 1/4. So ayan, para mas madali natin masabi na 0.08 divided by 4. Okay, 0.08 divided by 4 dito, no? Dahan-dahan lang, 6,000 ito. Divided by 0.08 divided by 4, that is 0.02. Okay, 0.02, gagawin natin pang divide ng 6,000. So ang gagawin lang po natin dyan, mga teachers, okay, pwedeng manual na pag-divide. Manual na pag-divide niyan, 6,000. Tapos, lalagay ko dito, 0.2. 0.2. Okay? Isipin ko lang, 2 lang yung divisor ko. Yung 2, ipang-divide ko sa 6. 2 lang, no? 2 lang yung, isipin natin yung divisor natin. 6 divided by 2, that is equal to 3. Okay? 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay? Tapos, 6 minus 6 is equal to 0. Okay? 0 na kagad. Kahit na mag-bring down ako niyan ng 0, 0, 0, okay? 0 pa rin yung sagot. So, ang magiging answer natin, copyhin ko lang to. Okay? Copyhin na natin yung tatlong zeros. Tapos, dahil po ang divisor natin ay 0.02, i-move lang natin yung decimal point ng mag-move tayo ng decimal point. Okay, mag-move tayo ng decimal point. Minove natin yan pa ganyan. Oh. Move tayo pa ng dalawa pa. 1, 2. Okay, magdadagdag tayo ng 0 dito. Therefore, yung answer natin, yung magiging answer po natin ay equal sa 1, 2, 3, tapos 4, 5. Okay, 5 zeros lahat yan. The answer is, okay, 300,000 pesos. Letter C. Sorry. Escape. Mamaya na natin sagutan yan. Okay, for question number 2, letter C talaga yan. Next. Question number 3. This approximate shape of a brick is, okay, imagine a brick. Okay, sana familiar kayo sa mga common solids natin. Okay, geometry, mga teachers, geometry. The approximate shape of a brick is it A, rectangular solid, B, solid cone, C, solid sphere, or D, cylindrical solid? Okay, madali lang to mga teach, hindi na natin kailangan patagalin. Ang shape ng brick ay, okay, hopefully, wala pong magkakamali dito mga teachers. Letter A, rectangular solid. Basic yan, basic. Rectangular solid is a three-dimensional object with 6 sides, all of which are rectangles. We first examine a cube in which all 6 sides are squares. In the diagram below, a square of, kaso walang figure na pinakita dito. Magpapakita na lang tayo doon sa slides natin mamaya. In the diagram below, a square of side 2 inches is used to form a cube with 6 square sides. Okay, so imagine niyo na lang no, yung rectangular solid para lang din siyang in-stretch na cube. Okay? Shoebox. Yung shoebox natin ay isa pong example ng rectangular solid. Okay, next, solid cone is a 3-dimensional shape that has a circular base and it narrows down to a sharp point called vertex. One of the easiest real-life examples that could be given is a birthday cup in the shape of a cone. May birthday hat, yung party hat natin, conical yon. With regards to a cone, we have 2 types of areas. No, meron tayong area ng base, yung circle sa baba, tapos yung tinatawag na slant or lateral area. One is the total surface area kapag inad mo yung area ng circle sa baba, tsaka yung lateral area. Okay? One is the total surface area and the other is the curved surface area. And then, we also have solid sphere. So, choices. Okay. Ano yung solid sphere? A sphere is a 3-dimensional object that is round in shape. The sphere is defined in 3 axes, X, Y, and Z. This is the main difference between circle and a sphere. Ang circle, 2-dimensional, pero ang sphere ay 3-dimensional. Okay. Pag sinabi namang cylindrical solid, example ng solid sphere, mga basketball, volleyball, beach ball, bowling ball, marble, ano pa ba? So yun, bowling ball, marbles, basketball, example yan ng sphere. Kapag sinabi namang cylindrical solid, okay, or simply cylinder, is a 3-dimensional solid figure which has 2 identical circular bases joined by a curved surface at a particular distance from the center, which is the height of the cylinder. Okay, example ng cylinder or solid cylinder is can. Yung mga lata ng sardinas, may lata ng corned beef, okay? Yun po ay mga cylinders. Okay? Let's give additional information dito sa ating slide. Okay? This approximates the shape of a brick. The answer here is rectangular solid. Kapag pinapakompute po mga teachers, yung volume, okay? Pwedeng tanungin, ano yung volume ng rectangular solid? Ang volume ng rectangular solid natin, okay, ay equal po sa length times width times height. Okay? Yung length, ito po yun, no? Length times width. Ito naman po yung width. Gaano ka kapal yan. Tapos yung height, syempre yung taas niyan. Length times width times height. Okay, to get for the volume of rectangular solid. By the way, dagdagan natin ng konting trivia. Etong rectangular solid, okay, etong rectangular solid, kung hindi nyo siya makita sa choices, tapos tinatanong, ano yung shape ng brick? Kung wala yung rectangular sa rectangular solid sa choices natin, pwede po nating hanapin yung other term na ito, cuboid. Okay, cuboid. Pwede din yan. Okay, anong shape yung cuboid? Ayan, same sa rectangular solid. Okay? Next. Okay, ganito po mga teachers. Etong pang color pink na figure natin dito sa next slide. Ito po yung tinatawag nating solid cone. Kung tatanungin naman po tayo, ano yung volume ng cone? Ang volume ng cone ay 1/3 times area of base times height. 1/3 area of base times height. Kaso, makikita natin, yung base ng cone ay circular in shape. So, pwede nating makita yan na 1/3 times ang area ng base ay pi r squared ay times height. So, volume ng cone is 1/3 pi r squared times height. Yes, kasi yung area ng base ay pi r squared kasi circular yung base natin. Ganito naman po yung itsura ng sphere. Ayan nga, bola lang yan. Okay. Ang sphere naman po may volume na equal sa 4/3 pi r cube. Yung r ay radius. Small r pala yung ginamit, ano? Para lang consistent dun sa image. And volume ng sphere is equal to 4/3 pi r cube. And then next, ito naman po yung last image natin. Ito naman si cylinder. Kapag pinakompute yung volume ng cylinder, ang volume ng cylinder is area of base times height. Okay, since obvious na ang cylinder may base na circular, pwede rin natin isulat na volume ng cylinder is pi r squared. Okay, ito po ay area ng circle times height h. So, that's for geometry. Next. Okay. Try nating sagutan yung next question dito sa website ng LIP Review Center. Let's proceed. Question number 4. The sum of 3 consecutive integers is 1, 2, 3. What are the integers? Sum of 3 consecutive integers is 123. What are the integers? Okay. Madali lang siya dahil mayroong choices, ano? Try mong i-add yung mga choices. Tapos kung sino mag-equal sa 121, edi yun yung tamang sagot. Basta, consecutive nga yung mga nasa choices. Okay? Teachers, what's your answer? Number 4, may nagsagot na, letter A. Madali lang, ano? Kayang-kaya ng mga future teachers natin yan. So, ayan. Sa rationale, ang ginawa, inad na lang lahat ng nasa choices. Tapos, chinek lang kung sino yung equal sa 123. Sa letter A, we have 40 plus 41 plus 42. That's equal sa 123. Yun na yun. Yun na yung answer natin. Diretso letter A. Sa letter B kasi, 39 plus 40 plus 41, that's 120. And then for letter C, 42 plus 44 plus 46, that's 132. Ang hinahanap natin na sum ay 123. Then for letter D, 41 plus 43 plus 45, the answer is 129. That's wrong. Si letter A lang yung nag-equal sa 123. The answer is letter A. Okay? So tayo mga teachers, pwede tayong mag-rely sa choices. Pero as teacher, pag tayo na mismo yung magtuturo nito sa mga students natin, ayan, malamang ipakita natin itong problem na to without the choices. Tapos, isosolve natin to using our knowledge in algebra. Okay, anong knowledge in algebra? Mag-let tayo. Okay, let x, okay, let x plus 1, okay, x plus 1, and x plus 2 be the consecutive integers. Okay, let x plus 1, okay, let x plus 1, and, lagyan pala natin ng n, okay, and x plus 2, kasi dapat daw sunod-sunod yan. So kung yung unang number ay x, yung susunod na number ay x plus 1. Tapos yung pangatlong number ay x plus 2. Kasi nga daw po ay consecutive integers. Let x plus 1, and x plus 2 be the consecutive integers. Okay? Tapos, kapag in-add daw natin yan, dapat ang sagot ay 123. Okay? So, try natin. X plus 1, okay, plus x plus 2, equal daw yan sa 123. Okay? Next. So, we have here x plus x plus x. Tatlong x yon. So, x plus x equals 3x. Okay? X plus x equals 3x. And then next one, let's try here 1 plus 2. That is equal to 3. 1 plus 2 equals 3 and then equal po sa 123. Alright? Next, i-transpose po natin si si 3 papunta sa kabilang side. Magiging 3x equals 123 minus 3. Okay? Or sige, baka may mali to. Okay, lagayin lang po natin ng 3 tapos mag-minus 3 tayo. Minus 3. Okay, then equals 123 minus 3. Minus 3. Pag nag-minus 3 sa left side ng equation, magma-minus 3 din sa right side ng equation para manatili ang balance. So, masusulat na natin ngayon yan na 3x equals, okay, cancel na kasi to. Magka-cancel na yung 3, tsaka yung 3. 123 minus 3 is equal to 120. And the next step, i-divide natin both sides by 3. Okay? Magiging 3x over 3 equals 120 divided by 3. Okay, cancel yung 3, cancel yung 3. X equals 120 divided by 3 is equal to 40. Okay, meron na tayong x equals 40. Therefore, yung ating x plus 1 is equal to 40 plus 1 equals 41. And then yung atin pong x plus 2 equals 40 plus 2 equals 42. So yung atin pong 3 consecutive integers ay si 40, 41, tsaka 42. Tama nga yung letter A. Okay, sagot natin dito, hindi na na-animate. Letter A yan, mga teachers. Okay? And then, recall lang natin, ano ba ibig sabihin, sir, kapag sinabing integer? Let's recall the classification of numbers. Okay, yung mga numbers, pwede maklasify as natural, whole numbers, integers, rational, tsaka, ayan nga, no, real numbers. Kapag sinabi pong mga natural numbers, mga teachers, ito, no, natural numbers, ito din po yung tinatawag nating counting numbers. Nandyan si 1, 2, 3, and so on. Counting numbers. Hindi kasama si 0. Pag sinabing whole numbers, doon po, pag sinabing whole numbers, doon na masasama yung 0. 0, kasama na siya. Tapos, lahat ng counting numbers, 1, 2, 3, and so on. That's for whole numbers. Kapag sinabing integers, okay, kasama po si lahat ng whole numbers. So, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Pati po yung mga negative counterparts niya. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, hanggang sa, ayan, tuloy-tuloy. Yan yung mga integers. May positive integers, may negative integers kasama sa integer si 0. Pag sinabing rational numbers, okay, kasama lahat ng integers, kasama din lahat ng pwedeng express as fraction. Halimbawa, 0, tapos meron tayong 0.25 or 1/4. Okay, kasama yung 1/4, kasama din yung 1/2, kasama din yung 3/4, kasama din yung 1. Okay? And so on. Okay? Pwede yung fraction. At yung negative counterpart niyan, pwedeng negative 0.25, negative 0.5, pwede pong negative 0.75, negative 1, and so on. Rational numbers yan, mga pwedeng express as ratio. Okay? Pag sinabi namang real numbers, kasama na po doon si irrational numbers. Pag sinabing irrational numbers, hindi yan ma-express as ratio. Sino example ng mga irrational numbers natin? Example ng irrational number, we have pi, irrational number yan. Ang pi ay equal sa 3.14, 16, no? Approximately. Pero, hindi pa talaga yan yung exact value niyan. Estimated lang. No? It can't be expressed as ratio. Kasama din po sa irrational numbers, yung square root of 2, okay? Yung mga square root of 3, irrational numbers yan. At yung Euler's constant E, na may approximate value na 2.718 pero may kadugtong pa yan. Okay, ito lagyan pala lang natin ano, ng tuloy-tuloy pa. Tapos hindi nauulit-ulit yung pattern. Okay, Euler's number. Okay? Alright? So, yan po yung mga categories natin ng mga real numbers. Okay? Next, let's proceed to the last question na. Okay, 5 lang naman yung sasagot natin. What is the greatest common factor of 22, 15, and 7? Ay mga teachers, the greatest common factor or GCF of 22, 15, and 7 is it A, 1, B, 4, C, 2, or D, 3? Sige, isip muna. Ano nga ba yung GCF? Isipin, ano yung mga factors ng 22? Okay, nalista na. Ano yung mga factors ng 15? Ano din yung mga factors ng 1? Tignan kung ano yung common sa mga nilista yung factors ng 22, 15, tsaka 7 at piliin yung pinakamalaki. Greatest common factor daw eh. Mga teachers, number 5, the answer is tama, letter A. Okay, letter A lang. Yung pwede maging sagot dyan, wala nang iba. Kasi kapag ginawa natin yung listing method, lista mo yung factors ng 7. Eh ang 7, prime number ang 7. Okay? Mga teachers, tandaan, ang 7 po ay prime number. Wala na yung ibang factor kundi 1 at yung sarili niya. 1 at 7. Okay? Yung factors ng 15 ay 1, 3, 5, and 15. And then yung factors ng 22, 1, 2, 11, and 22. Ano lang ba common dyan? Sa factors ng 7, 15, tsaka 22, ang common lang dyan is 1. Kaya ang sagot natin, the GCF is 1. Alright? So, ganun lang siya kadali mga teach. Para dun sa mga nalilito na sana malinawan bago dumating yung mismong araw ng board exam, i-define po natin ulit mga teachers yung greatest common factor at ano ba pinagkaiba niyan sa LCM or yung tinatawag na least common multiple. Okay, for our last item, may sagot na tayo dito. Ang sagot natin is letter A, 1. Okay, kapag kinonsider natin yung factors of, gamit yung listing method, lista-lista lang, no? Factors of 7. Okay, yan po ay 1 and 7. Tapos yung atin pong factors of 15, yun daw po ay 1, 3, 5, and 15. And then yung factors of 22, yan po mga teach ay 1, 2, 11, and 22. Okay, pag sinabing common factors, isa lang naman yung common sa kanilang tatlo, 1. So the answer is letter A. Define lang natin sa next slide, mga teachers, yung atin pong greatest common factor, pati na rin yung LCM. Greatest common factor or GCF. It is the largest positive integer that divides evenly into all numbers with zero remainder. It is also known as, ito tandaan natin mga teachers, ang greatest common factor, tinatawag ding GCD. So kung hindi man GCF, pwede po yung GCD. Okay, another example, the GCF or GCD of 12 and 18 is 6. Okay, paano nalaman na ang greatest common factor ng 12 and 18 is 6? So, for factors of 12, factors. Okay, dito na lang natin isulat. Example na, example lang to. Factors of 12. Okay, those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Okay, factors of 12. Para naman sa factors of 18, we have 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 6, and then we have 9, tapos 18. Okay? Kung titignan natin, ano yung mga common sa kanila, common yung 1, common yung 2, common yung 3, common yung 6. Yun lang. Tapos ano yung pinakamalaki? Kasi sabi, greatest. So yung greatest common factor ng 12 and 18 ay 6. And then for least common multiple, ang definition niya mga teachers ay it is the lowest possible number that can be divisible by both numbers. For example, the LCM of 4 and 5 is 20. Okay? Para naman po sa least common multiple, mag-skip counting lang tayo. Paano mag-skip counting, sir? Nasa na yung, ayan, yung pen natin. Ayan. Skip counting. Skip counting tayo ng multiples of 4. Okay, multiples of 4, yan po ay 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 16, 20, 24, sige, wag muna tayo huminto, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. Okay, pwede na siguro akong huminto dyan. Tapos, kapag nag-skip counting naman tayo or nilista natin yung multiples of 5, skip counting tayo by 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, okay, tuloy natin, 35, 40, okay, 45, okay na yan, sir. Okay, kunin natin yung common multiple. Common multiple niyan, mga teachers. Okay, common multiples natin dyan, we have, ano bang common? Ayun, 20, tsaka 20, parehas. 40, tsaka 40, parehas. Okay, kaso ang tinatanong, list daw, list. Eh di yung mas maliit. Yung mas maliit ay si 20. Okay? Meron pa ba tayong next question? Next, wala na. Congratulations mga future teachers. You have successfully completed Mathematics Live Review Quiz number 1. Test result natin, 100%. Okay, good job.